Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for real producers, by real producers, and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers. And you get to hang out today with another one of our guests, Mr. Holton Irwin. What's poppin', my man? How you doing?
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
No doubt. I'm glad that you could make it. It's nice to finally meet you in person.
Well.
If Holton looks familiar to you and you follow our platform, it's because we just featured Holton as a team leader with Smith and Associates in our, our February 2024 issue, right? So you can find that on TampaBayRealProducers.com. Just click on publications, click on the one that has Beth Silverman on the cover, the EXP, and then you'll see Holton's article in there as well. I'm sure we'll pop it up on our episode here that you guys can see it on our YouTube channel. But Holton, we were talking off camera. My man just got licensed in April of 2021,
yes, sir.
I think you were saying. So you've been crushing it, man, in a pretty short period of time. So it's great to hear. Let's dive in a little bit to how you've been doing that. But let's start first with a little bit of your background for people who don't know you as well. You were saying before that you grew up in Sarasota, right?
Yep. Yeah. So
let's start there. Let's start. Growing up, what eventually got you interested in real estate?
Yeah. So I pretty much started working since I was 14. So as soon as I could really have the opportunity to work, I started right away. I started at Publix, and I started from there just trying a bunch of different jobs. And I've always really been, interested in working and kind of creating my own life, my own lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So did a bunch of different things, went to school in Sarasota where I grew up for about 20-ish years, went to USF, and they have a campus at the Sarasota campus as well as Tampa. So saved up money, went to school. When I graduated, I went with a double major in business management and marketing.
Okay.
And went from school, decided I didn't want to be in Sarasota anymore. I wanted to go where there's a little bit more going on, a little bit more things to do, more energy.
USF hooked you to Tampa Bay, huh?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I made the move. Actually, me and my brother, we said as soon as we graduated college, we're going to go somewhere with a little bit more going on. And Tampa was just a really good fit because, it's about an hour away from Sarasota and we're so close to our family. So we made the decision to make the jump, but that was as soon as we made that decision when we graduated in 2019, that was when COVID hit. So pretty much a month or two later.
Perfect timing.
So we jumped, made the leap of faith over here. We actually got a really good COVID discount for an apartment. Really, really good. We got a 2-bed, 2-bath actually, like right around here in the Northwest Shore area. For
nice.
It was like $1,500 a month.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
So you graduated with your brother? You guys went to school together?
Yeah,
okay.
We went to school together. We both did different things in school, but we graduated in 2019. So,
very cool.
And during that time, I was actually working a full-time job. I was at a software company, just grinding away. So I was doing, I was trying all the different opportunities through different jobs and learning, different things, as well as going to school full time. And when I moved over here, I was with a software company at the time, and it was the typical 9-to-5 job. It was just, wake up, show up to work, do what you got to do, go home, wait for the weekends. And that was when I started to realize that lifestyle wasn't really for me.
Right.
And then I moved over here. I was serving at OnSwan for about a year-ish time frame. I even tried a different full-time job when I was here. It was another software company. And that was when I really realized that the 9-to-5 lifestyle just wasn't really what I wanted to do. And I, kept trying different things, and I went back to serving, and I've always had an interest in real estate. So bringing up, what got me started into real estate. My family kind of has some experience in real estate. My aunt at the time worked for the brokerage that I'm at now. And when I told her I'm getting my real estate license and started the process going to school, I went to Tampa School of Real Estate here.
Yeah.
She introduced me to Doug Swain, who was in our career development sector over there at Smith and Associates, and had a good conversation with him. I actually interviewed for a bunch of different brokerages here. And I just...
Did your aunt work at the one in Tampa?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Smith and Associates here in Tampa.
Okay.
So she gave me a really good introduction to work with Smith, and I
nice.
knew that they were one of the bigger brands
sure.
here.
Yeah, very well known.
And I was just, really excited to start with them. I had a conversation. They asked if I wanted to start as an assistant for someone. And I knew, getting into real estate was going to be something I really wanted to do, and I wanted to just go right into it. So I told them I didn't want to be an assistant. Either, put me in as a full-time real estate agent under someone, where I can kind of learn,
Sure.
or I'd go a different route with a different brokerage. And they connected me with a really great agent over there, Nick Buchanan. Shout out to Nick Buchanan.
I know Nick.
Yeah.
We've actually featured Nick before.
Yeah. I went to the one where he got the plaque.
There you go.
It was like a year
I knew
or
you
something
looked
ago.
familiar, so we have met.
Yeah,
Okay.
one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's coming together.
Very
Yes.
briefly. I know you meet a lot of people though.
No, but I remember like you did look familiar, so now it makes sense as to why. So shout out to Nick, man. I think we actually hooked up with Nick again at our Christmas party this past year because
Okay.
he popped by. I want to say the one we just did. And it was actually here in South Tampa in December this past couple months ago.
Yeah, he's great, and I mean, I don't think I could have found a better person to learn under, and he's had a lot of experience prior, and so I got to start with Nick in April 2021, and I was on his team for about a year and a half, just learning all the ins and outs of the business. But I was hustling, man. I was at On Swan working a couple nights a week, closing shifts, but I would treat the whole thing, the real estate wise as a business. I'd be waking up at 7, going to the office at 9, working the entire day. And then I'd work my serving shifts at night. Did that for, I think from April to June or July. I closed my first transaction in August. It was actually my first transaction. A couple months prior, I had the opportunity to hold a bunch of open houses for Nick and like I mentioned, really learn the business.
Yeah.
I got introduced to a bunch of high net worth individuals through the higher priced open houses that Nick Buchanan would let me hold through his listings. My first client was through an open house, and I closed my first transaction on my birthday, August 5th, that same year. And then from August to December, that whole year, within 9 months, it was about $6.5 million of volume.
Very cool.
I got off to a really good start, and that following year was under his team till closer to the end of the year. And then I started my own team. I pretty much went right from being on his team to starting my own.
Nice.
I have a really great guy underneath me, Jackson. That's my teammate and licensed assistant. And
Where'd you meet Jackson? Was that through the agency, or was that more through school? Or
he actually had the same start as me, kind of. So he lived in Sarasota. He actually had his real estate license at the time over there, but him and his girlfriend moved over to Tampa about, I'd say, year and a half into when I moved over here. Okay. So we didn't really know anyone here or really know this area well, but neither did I when I started, and I still had a quick, start into the business. So the same exact time that I was looking to start my team was when he reached out to me from Sarasota, saying he was ready to kind of dive into real estate with someone that had an understanding of the business and that was kind of doing it, because he did a couple transactions in Sarasota. So he just moved over here and he started under me pretty much shortly thereafter. But I knew Jackson through high school. We've actually been friends since we were kids. So kind of
nice. So you had that relationship. Okay,
yeah,
that
so
makes sense.
It all worked out, and we're about a year now into starting Irwin Collective, which is my team and my brand, and we've been taking off. We've been
Was
busy.
the goal to build a team from the beginning for you? Is that always kind of been part of the journey, the vision?
Yeah, I love real estate, and I knew quickly getting into the business that real estate was what my future was going to be. It was going to be my career. And not only do I want to do well in real estate, but like I truly want to be the best, and I want to, succeed in every way, shape, or form in this business. And I know, starting on a team was the best way to learn as soon as possible. Starting with a really great brokerage was a way to quickly start moving. And the next steps, I want to take them as soon as possible. So starting the team, getting that going, building a brand.
Yep.
And that's really been kind of what I've wanted to do, just quickly keep things moving and keep doing as good as a job as I can possibly do, and just be the best.
Irwin Collective, man. I like it. So that's the brand that you're building up. Now, you
T-shirt
mentioned
right here.
Oh, there we go. Here you go. Rocking the swag. We got to get that swag up in there. I like it. You mentioned it was your first, I guess, 6 months, right? Really, you got your first deal. You said you licensed in April, first till August. You did $6 million by the end of that year, right? So in really 6 months, $6 million, not too shabby. And then I think what we saw was just over 15 million, right, in volume last year in 2023. And so definitely seeing progress year over year and growing from there. What do you think, if you were to give some advice, Irwin, to or Holton, I should say, or Irwin, I guess, both, right?
Yeah, I know it gets a little confusing.
If you were to give some advice to newer agents, right, who are trying to get off to a start kind of like you did, as you know, I'm sure a lot of agents struggle in their first year, right?
Definitely.
Trying to figure this whole thing out, exactly what to do. I think there is power in a mentor. I know Nick helped you out a lot in getting that thing going. Is there anything else you would share that you feel like really made a difference for you in that first 6 months to be able to get the traction as quickly as you did?
Yeah, I think, a lot of agents, and I feel like this is a cliche thing, but a lot of agents, they just kind of see other agents being successful and, already, having business or their Instagrams, and they're like, oh, I can just get my real estate license and just start, closing transactions.
Yeah, the deals just come flying at me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there is really, you have to have the mentality when you get into real estate that it is a full-time job and you have to treat it like a full-time job.
Yep.
And that's exactly the second I made the jump to get into real estate, I had 0 clients. I wasn't even from here. I really had no connections. I was a server here for a year before I got into real estate. And I just every single day, I just started getting to work. And I would show up to the office 9 to 5, like a normal job.
Treat it like a job,
treat it like a normal job. And I had, 0 opportunities when I started, but day in and day out, whether I was shadowing with Nick, I was learning, how to do open houses. I was learning how to post on social media. I was thinking every single day, if I don't have something going on right now, what could I be doing to get more business or to start moving myself in the right direction? Mm-hmm. And whether it be I'm learning something from Nick or I'm just searching up something on Google, how to, pick up this or how to learn that. That's what I was doing. So,
do you still do open houses now?
I do. Yeah. So I would say a big portion of my business off the bat was actually doing open houses. Open houses during that time frame were a lot busier than they are now because we just had such an influx of buyers from all kinds of different areas. So you could have an open house and have 20, 30, 40 people. Not as much now, but I would just treat those open houses like that was my opportunity to meet clients and be face-to-face with clients. I would treat Instagram like I cleaned that up. I guess it wasn't bad to begin with, but I made it very professional. I tried to project myself like a successful realtor.
Took the bong shots out of there and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. All the stuff. But I was posting stories every single day. I was posting pictures of me in front of listings. I was, texting, calling if I had friends, hey, I'm in real estate, what can I do to help?
Yeah.
I was learning through Nick, I was cold calling. I was literally doing everything. And I started to get traction over those next couple months where I knew, okay, like this is how you do it. This is how you meet people. Things just started rolling from there. And to this day,
do you think there's a difference, in your opinion, Holton, between trying too many things and almost being like just spread out too thin and not committing to a specific strategy versus, like you mentioned, maybe it was open houses for you where you got like your immediate traction and started to build the key relationships that actually led to business. But because I see that as a common, I guess I would say, mistake that some agents make is that they try to just do too many things too soon. Yeah. And they don't really ever really get good at something, right? And actually learn how to do something well before they start maybe adding a secondary strategy or another plan. And do you agree with that concept? Is that something that you feel like helped with you with, even though you were doing a lot of different things, was it really like getting good and really focusing in on the open houses plan and strategy that really helped accelerate things?
Agreed. I mean, I definitely would contribute a lot of my quick success and higher price clientele off the bat with open houses. And
they were all Nick's? At the time,
pretty much, or just agents in my office.
Yeah,
so like
just whoever it was, you would just go to meet people.
Mine.
Right?
Yeah. So if I didn't have an open house through Nick for that weekend, I would be calling agents and be like, "Hey, do you have an open house that I can do? Yeah. I'll host it, champagne, mimosas, the whole thing."
Right.
If agents in my office didn't have an open house, I would literally find open houses on the MLS. So I'd find listings that were listed by other agents, not even in my office, and call them. I'll literally call them up and say, "Hey, love to hold an open house. Would you be interested in the opportunity?" Because it's a win-win for them.
Totally.
But to answer your question, I think that, when you get into the business, you're not going to really have anything to really do off the bat during that time frame. So you have to start trying some different things and seeing what's a good fit.
Totally.
But you have to find a couple things that you think is something that you'd have success at. On top of it, though, you have to find things you like doing. So I think when I started, agents told me, oh, you got to make 500 cold calls a day, right? And that is definitely a way you can get business. But through what I liked doing, I liked meeting people.
Or you're going to want to shoot yourself in the process.
Yeah, I like meeting people face to face. And I could make cold calls and be successful at it. I know I could. But would I have burned out a lot quicker? 100%. Would I, after a year, just hate waking up every day and doing the cold calls to get the business? I would. Yeah. What like fills up my cup when it comes to business is the face-to-face interactions. So that's where I really doubled down on those aspects. I like social media. I doubled down on that. So those were the things that after I tried a bunch of different things, then I was like, okay, now let's do the things that I know that I really like.
No doubt.
For sure. And
you had to kind of suck it up too by keeping your other job for a little while, right?
Exactly.
Like knowing that, hey, I'm willing to put forth this effort, but I also have to pay some bills. And so until you got that traction going, you knew that you had to then work as hard as you did to still get the other income coming in until you were able to get those deals
100%
flowing. And I think a lot of people may not be willing, to make that level of commitment and actually see that bridge through, if it makes sense, because there is a process there.
You have to be committed, and just, as simple as it is, just treat it like a full-time job. And there's a lot of agents that just don't even do that to begin with. So, it looks easy in the pictures or Instagram or whatever the case may be, but yeah, you got to wake up and treat it like a job and go at it every single day and really hustle, finding things that you like to do to get business and being consistent with it.
No doubt. Has your strategy at all changed over the last couple of years, or is it still like you've gotten good at these open house concepts? You do well with social media, you mentioned. Are those still kind of the two big bangers that drive your business, or are there other components now that have evolved?
Yeah, so it's evolved now. When I started, it was open houses, and I started to double down on that. However, every single year, I like to reflect in my business and find new outlets where I can get more business, kind of along the same conversation of doing something I like doing. What do I like doing? I like being face-to-face with people. I love being front-facing. I like social media. I like those aspects. Outside of the cold calls, I personally don't really want to door knock. I want to meet people in like in a positive, like easy way.
Yep.
So I'm still doing open houses, but me and a lender that I work with, Denny Humphreys, shout out Denny, we came out with a really great idea. There is farmers markets around the area here in Tampa Bay. So they have them in Hyde Park, in Midtown, and St. Pete, Seminole Heights. They usually do it the first of different Sundays or Saturdays in the month. Yeah. And we came up with a great idea to sponsor these markets. And through that, we're able to set up a booth where we meet all kinds of people that walk through to see the different, shops and vendors that they have at that time. And through that, we would set up, we'd give out free mimosas to people. We would do giveaways and just kind of literally just meet people. And we have our stuff. I have my Irwin Collective shirt, my hat, on a Sunday, and it's about 3 to 4 hours every single week, depending on the market. And through that, I started to get a lot of business where I'm actually seeing more business through that than my open houses now.
Nice.
And now being that the market that we do, they allow so let's say one smoothie place or one coffee place or a bag vendor per market. Now we are like the exclusive realtor mortgage lender combo for these markets. So It's not like, and crazy enough, no realtor really ever had the idea to like do these markets. But after doing them, it took really like 6 to almost a year, 6 months to a year, like get things rolling. But now for the markets that we're doing, for example, Hyde Park, Water Street, Midtown, West Shore, Marina District, we're the only realtor lender combo that can really do these markets. So we kind of have this big, I won't say monopoly over these markets, but if you ever go to a market, for the majority, we don't do all of them, but if you go to the majority of markets in Tampa, you'll see me in the lender Denny, our smiling faces. We'll give you a mimosa and we'll chat. And we've met a lot of great people and we've gotten a lot of great clients that way.
That's awesome.
And then social media as well has really blossomed for me. And I think that it's like a connection of maybe people see me at a market, or maybe people see me at an open house. And then on top of that, they've seen me through social media. I've started to notice a lot more clientele coming that way. And then my sphere as well.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a favorite social media platform?
Yes. Holton at Irwin, or no, at Holton _ Irwin on Instagram. So I do a lot of video walkthroughs on there. So whether it be agents in my office or different agents throughout the Tampa Bay area, me and Jackson, my teammate, will reach out to them to do a video walkthrough where I'll be at the front of the house. We'll go through the house. Sometimes I'll do like a voiceover. Sometimes I'll just be talking about some different features of the house throughout that.
Yeah.
And we've gained a lot of traction, a lot of views that way. And it's just different things on Instagram. You know, I'll post in front of a house, or I'll be out trying a new like restaurant in the area. And that's been another really great way to build my credibility and just kind of show, hey, if you're looking for real estate, like I want to be on top of mind there.
Sure,
so
no doubt.
It's really worked out for me that way. And I'm also doing postcards. I'm doing cold calls. We're actually hiring for a business development representative right now. Just posted that a couple days ago. So looking to have someone kind of help with the outbound and cold outbound reach for my business. So finding ways, hey, if I don't like making cold calls, or this isn't the route I want to go, how can I get help in that? And then focus on doing what I'm best at.
Still get some of the benefits from it, but just make sure it's delegated properly.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's great stuff, man. I appreciate you sharing. We've interviewed probably, well, I mean, just on this podcast alone, we've had over 60 episodes, and in all the magazine articles that we've done hundreds now of interviews with top producing agents, and I haven't had one of them share that strategy. So, I mean, that's awesome. That's pretty neat.
Appreciate that.
I'm sure there may be some people that do it, but we just haven't talked about it with anybody else. And so it's cool that you were innovative enough to kind of think of a way that would be enjoyable, right, for you. Because I think that's a huge point that you brought up, is just finding a strategy. And that's kind of the cool thing about real estate in many ways, is there's so many different ways to do it well. You know,
right?
There's not like one cookie cutter approach that you have to take. You can. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
If you want to invest in certain ad strategies, they work, right? And there's some people I've interviewed that have big ad budgets and they're everywhere, and it works for them. And then others that build their whole business just on word of mouth, right? That also works. But I love what you said about just finding a strategy that you're going to enjoy. That, of course, with FaceTime, as it has for you, is going to produce some sort of a desired result. And the farmer's market thing make a lot of sense, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, I think like when you get into the business, you might hear, oh, here's the one method that works. And if you do this and you do it for 2 years, then you'll finally get business. You can get business right away.
Yep.
You can start making impact right away and start making money to support yourself in real estate.
Yep. And
do things that you like, but actually do them and be consistent with it. And have the confidence, and you'll see the results. There are a lot of opportunities out there through real estate and through prospecting that you can get business.
What gets you fired up about the rest of this year when you think about 2024 and where you're building the team and the brand? What are some goals or things that you're excited about?
So really excited about continuing to build my team, Irwin Collective, and kind of make that a real brand and a real business. I want to be a lot more well-known in the Tampa Bay area, and I really see the opportunity as a younger agent in this market to really shine and do well. Building the brands, continuing to just build and double my business every single year. And
do you see the pathway to that being recruiting and building that way, or are you referring to building in terms of sales volume?
It's a great question. I mean, both, I guess I would say. Yeah. I mean, every year I'm trying to make a new big impact in my business. So last year, starting Irwin Collective and adding a teammate, and I'm not just bringing in like 50 people, adding people all day long, but every single year I'm kind of putting a new piece into the puzzle. So now this year, hiring for the business development representative, and then to answer your question for my personal business aspect, I'm trying to double my business every year. So volume, how much more can I do? Can I succeed more and more every single year? If I don't, for me, it's a failure. I want to just continue building on that end and continue building the brand and in a very powerful way every single year.
Yeah, no, and I bring it up too because we've interviewed a lot of people that are high-powered team builders, right? There's certain names that I can drop out there, but some of them are in our elite agent mastermind, like a Joe LaCicero, if you know him at all with Realty 54, or Andrew Duncan with Duncan Duo, or Jason McIntosh here with the McIntosh Group, Jeffrey Borum with eXp Realty. These are some guys that have built some dynamic teams, many times 30, 40, 50 plus agents, right? And have done it well and have learned a lot in that process. And then, there's also many agents that we've interviewed that have built their brand just focusing on specific strategies from a volume or side of things, right? Rather than a team building side of things. And I do believe from my perspective, there's really two different skill sets in a way, to 100%. Be able to do that. And I think as you are building yours and you're starting to now work with Jackson as your first, agent, that will be something that'll be probably a learning curve in some ways that you'll deal with is just how you balance that role of being the leader, right? Coaching, supporting, recruiting, training, development of that organization while also figuring out doubling my sales volume, right? Because I know that's a goal you just shared. So that'll be kind of an interesting challenge you'll have in the years and months to come.
Yeah, it's a different beast, and 100% learning the considering my business side, and then I've never really been that like team leader or had someone that I have to help them also succeed, and it is completely two different mentalities. So yeah, it's a challenge, but a good challenge.
Yeah, no doubt. It's fun. It's exciting, right? That's what makes life fun, right? 100%. Take on the challenge and embrace it.
I love it every day.
And I do think in many ways, again, that's one of the things that is awesome about real estate is there's always something new that could challenge you if you are attracted to that type of thing, right?
100%.
Which it seems like you are. I know we were talking off camera. You also have a background as an athlete, so it's all about growth and challenging yourself even as an athlete to get to that next level and be a little bit better, right? So you know what that game is like.
I wasn't meant for making it too far in basketball. I wasn't the most athletic
well, you're
guy.
Tall enough,
but
dude.
Yeah. People are like, you should have played like in college or whatever. And I mean, I played for a good high school team a little bit. I was like a sixth man, and I could have gone to college for it. But I did develop like the teammate sports aspects through that.
Sure.
And then, I do apply that to business. I was much more meant to be in business, not to be an athlete. So
right, I get it.
I'm glad I got to take some good insight or pointers from the sports life back in high school.
Is basketball still your main passion around the sports side?
I hung up the shoes, man. I hung up the shoes about a year and a half ago, like just for good, because I was like going to play at LA
Can't risk getting injured,
Exactly, yeah. I was actually what happened. I was at LA Fitness right here off of Dale Mabry, and I got back into basketball. It was like a while before, I got back into it, and I was driving to the hoop pretty hard. It was a while ago. I had a quick stop, and I felt something like pop in my knee, and luckily I didn't end up tearing anything. I was limping around for probably like a month to 2 months. And that was where I told myself, I'm like, do I really want to be doing showings with clients with like a limp on my, limping around to these?
Is it worth it? Yeah.
Was it worth it? So I threw out the shoes, man. That's no more basketball. I just stick to selling real estate. I started playing pickleball too.
Nice.
Yeah, because pickleball is super hot
I've
here.
never played yet, but I got so many people now who are raving about it. So I don't know. I might have to check it out one of these days.
You can get addicted pretty quick. And I mean, there's so many people that play here, but I was playing with my friend Colin, and we were playing one-on-one. We should have been playing like 2-on-2, because if you're playing one-on-one, it's almost like you're playing like a full like tennis match. Like it's a pretty solid sized court.
Yeah.
And I was moving to hit the ball, and I felt my Achilles. I felt like some soreness in my Achilles, and I made like one other hard stop, and I felt this like sharp pain, and luckily I didn't tear my Achilles either. But then I was like,
that's what scares me getting older. I'm like, I play softball a lot now. Well, not a lot, but I have a game every Tuesday night with my softball buddies.
Yeah.
And I just still have this vision of me like running around third base and just my Achilles just snapping
being done
and being
for.
like,
Yeah.
dude, was this really worth it? Right.
Right.
I have pulled my hamstring in a similar fashion playing softball. And so I do get what you're saying. It's like a balance of, I still love playing baseball now, softball as I'm older, but
it's risky.
It is a little risky, because is it worth the being shadowed up in bed or not being able to hop around. I can relate to that. Yeah.
If I had to tell my doctor or any of my friends or clients that I tore my Achilles playing pickleball, that'd be tough,
rough.
man. That hurt.
I get it. Well, I mean, that's why we could at least sit back and enjoy the sport and enjoy the TV side of it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah, you got the passion that side too.
Yeah, that's it.
So what do you get to do for fun if you're not jamming in the real estate world? Is there anything else for people to get to know you a little bit more personally?
I'm a big foodie. Me and my girlfriend, we go and try different places to eat all the time. We just got back from a trip to Miami. We were there for the weekend, had a great time. So traveling, going to different places to eat, go to the beach a lot, love getting sun when I can outside the office. Go to the gym. I got a pretty consistent gym schedule going in the morning all the time. So I'm really big on, fitness.
The guns are looking good, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, the crunch workouts are paying off. So working out, eating, play sports every once in a while.
Girlfriend? Is this heading in a certain direction or what? I'm sure you get that question all the time, right?
Yeah, about we've been dating for about a year, and she's great. She's in the medical aesthetics industry. That's cool. She works for a big company for all the med spas around here. And she's great.
You want a family
she's
one
awesome.
day?
I don't know.
With or without, I mean, maybe she'd be involved. If she's watching this, she's probably hoping for the right answer. But
right.
Are you looking to have a family one day, period?
It's not in my vision
immediate
as of
vision,
right now.
Yes.
Yeah, all I really care about right now is business and just growing every single day and becoming the best version I can be, as well as being the best realtor that I can be in this area. And all that stuff is really kind of hindsight. So,
I hear you, brother. I hear you. How old are you now?
26.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still got a lot of time.
I got time. Yeah, I got time. I think I've never been like the conventional, I want to work this job 40 hours a week. I want to, have the house and the wife by the time I'm 28 or, like the most important thing to me is just like the successful, chase after what I want to do in life and let everything else kind of follow.
I hear that. I get it.
What about?
I remember thinking the same exact thing when I was 26. So I can relate. I can definitely relate to your story there.
And now five kids, right?
5, yes, yes. So that you're looking at your future, bro. No, I'm joking. I
got married at 32.
Okay. I got married at 32, and I was dating my wife now, who was my girlfriend we dated for 7 years. Before we actually got married. So she was ready for sure for commitment, and it took me a while to get there. But yeah, we did finally get married. I was 32, and she was 28 at the time. And I'm sorry, 27 at the time. And yeah, now 10 years after that, we got 5 little ones. So life changes, bro. You just don't know.
You just
don't know. So yes, but I mean, it's exciting. In my 20s at your age, I was building my business. Actually, we were talking off camera about Cutco, and that's actually the business I was in at that time in my life. I was with them until I was 30. And if you go to Olean, New York, up in upstate, you'll see my picture hanging up in the Cutco Hall of Fame. Just so you know, that's where we at. So I was there for 12 years. And did over $30 million in Cutco knife sales back then. So you're a little different animal. Yeah, no doubt.
Meant to be successful in the sales world.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole. The podcast isn't as much about my story, but people who follow this know my story. My dad passed away when I was 19, and that was a real turning point in many ways in my life, and got me to grow up a lot. Ironically, looking back at it, a couple months after that is when I started with Cutco. And then Cutco there was a lot of very positive male influences in Cutco that were great leaders and that had great just sales acumen and knew how to teach and really showed a genuine heart of serving and took an interest in me as a young man and helped me grow up a lot and teach me a lot when I didn't really have a father figure in my life yet at that point. And I was still just a wild kid really as a teenager trying to party and just do all those things. So my priorities changed a lot after he passed, and then I got hooked up with Cutco, and everything I've done since then in the business world has really been because of the network that I got through Cutco in many ways.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's so, the power of our network is so critical. And, you mentioned it earlier, even with Nick and some of the network that you got from real estate, a lot of the things that you're building now and your team is going to be a network that will trickle in for the next decade and beyond as far as what your future looks like when you're on my age. So I'm in my early 40s now.
What would you say if you were me? I'd love to get one piece of advice, whether it be real estate related, personal related, I'd love to hear it.
Dude, I think you're doing a lot of the right things. You found a career early enough that you can really build upon, and it seems like you're committed to the growth in that career, right? So if I had to do it over, even though I loved my time with Cutco, my journey has been very different because it seems like every decade I've had another business venture that I've got myself into, right?
Yeah.
And I do think sometimes about what it would look like if I was with the same one, right, throughout that period of time. And so, not that you'll necessarily be with us as a team leader with Smith and Associates for the rest of your life, but I think real estate is a specific industry that can be a lifelong commitment, right? A lifelong passion, and it'll evolve and change as you evolve and change as to what that role will look like. But I feel like, you've gotten into it early enough, and you've obviously had success in it early enough that it could be really, really exciting where you'll be 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now. And, just continuing to grow, as you said, getting hooked up with the right mentors, learning from the right people. There are some amazing people that I've even met through real producers, through the Tampa Bay real estate community that have genuine hearts of wanting to serve. And if you allow yourself to be influenced by them, they'll help you build not just your real estate career, but even your investment background. I think for most people, the goal is to build up a strong enough nest egg and an investment background where you can eventually be completely financially free and never have to work for money, but have your money work for you, And there's real estate's a great path to be able to get to that in that area.
100%.
I think you're heading in that direction. So
Appreciate that.
yeah, no doubt. And eventually for me, I do think there's an innate fulfillment in finding the right woman that, there's a satisfaction that comes in the marriage life that is just different than money can't really fill. You know what I mean? And so at 26, I didn't know that, but at where I am now, I look back at it and I can see without that, I would feel much more empty compared to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's the journey, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're heading there. So you're doing amazing stuff.
Yeah.
For people, I got a couple rapid fire questions for people to get to know you still a little bit more. So
Okay.
Do you have so far, Holton, a favorite book or author even, or a seminar that you feel like has really made an impact on you personally or professionally?
That's a good question. I would say a book that's really changed the way I've kind of thought about business, and also from just a personal life perspective, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Mm-hmm. I know it's a very common one. I think there's a lot of really great tidbits that anyone could pick up with that book. And then I would say I just read The Four Agreements. I don't have the name of the author.
It's a great book. I've read it as well.
Yeah. You can really get some great things to implement in your day-to-day and business lifestyle through books. And to be honest with you, I'm just trying to pick up more books and do more reading. I don't do enough of it, but when I do, I usually get really lucky with the books that I've been reading, and that's been a recent one. So I'd say those two would be ones that I would definitely suggest to check out. Very
cool. Yeah, I'm a big passionate. I'm an avid reader myself, so it's a part of my daily routine. And The Four Agreements is a book I read years ago, and I remember I tried a little thing I do is when I read a book, I try to take the takeaways that I want to implement. I always write them down on the inside front sleeve of the book.
Oh, that's awesome.
In my experience, I'll just forget a lot of the good stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to just highlight things, but then never be able to really find exactly where that thing was that I wanted to find. And so now my library has all these different, my own personal takeaways written in the sleeve, so I can grab a book, open it up, I know what I want.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So there's a little nugget. Hopefully that helps. But that definitely was cool for me.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie or TV show? I've been watching. So this is what I need to stop doing. I need to stop watching Netflix and reading instead. But I've been binge watching Narcos on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
really, really good.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah,
I haven't binge watched the whole series yet because there's a lot. It's been out a couple years now.
It's like an hour an episode too. And I get home and I'm usually try to go to bed by like 9 to wake up early to go to the gym, and I'll just be watching these episodes past 9, like 10, 11, and should probably stop doing that. But yeah, I watch Netflix. I can't think of a recent movie. I feel like there just hasn't been enough like good movies that come out lately.
Yeah.
But I love going to Cine Bistro when movies come out and like just hanging out watching a movie.
I can't even remember the last time I went to a movie theater. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yeah, because you can like,
it really has.
Yeah. I mean, you could just stream or whatever the case may be. You don't have to make the commitment.
It's so much more convenient.
Yeah, but if you go to a movie theater, definitely Cine Bistro, because you get you can kind of lounge back, get some food, get some wine, so.
Yeah, I've been to the one in South Tampa a bunch of times, and so I agree with you. That's the right way to do it if you're going to do it. Yeah,
100%.
They have another one up in where we live, up in Wesley Chapel now.
Okay.
The Grove up there. So every now and again, that's probably the last time I did go to a movie would have been there. But again, I can't even remember when the heck it was, dude. It was so long ago.
That movie, or not the movie, that area, Wesley Chapel,
Booming.
It's
Crazy.
Every time I'm over there, it's like there's a new spot. I feel like just like South
I wish
Tampa
I bought
too.
more land up there when I first. We bought in 2016 in Ballantrae. If you know that neighborhood at all, it's right off of exit 19 on the Veterans. And dude, it's crazy how much that whole area in the last 5 years has just blown up. It's wild.
It's awesome. I feel like it's not even that. It's not far of a drive. You go on the highway to get over here, like wherever you want to go.
Yep. Yeah, I'm right off the Veterans. So this morning there was a hectic amount of traffic because of some accident or something on the way down. But most of the time, I mean, I can get down here to the podcast studio within half hour, 20 minutes or so. So yeah, it's convenient.
It's a good spot. Yeah.
A lot of growth up there too. So no doubt.
Yeah.
We lived in South Tampa for a little while. Is that where you live, South Tampa?
Yep. Yeah, so I'm right here. I'm right by Livia, the Italian restaurant right there.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, we bought in 2022 and did a full renovation. It's not what I was looking to do at the time. I've never done a renovation before. I was looking for something move-in ready, but the location was just, we couldn't beat it, and it was an off-market property in our office.
Nice.
So yeah, we bought it. It's definitely at the higher end of our budget. We did the renovations over time. I didn't have a kitchen. Me and Avery, my brother, we didn't have a kitchen for like 5-6 months when we were living there because like we moved in pretty much during these renovations. We got it just good enough where we
only
can live
two
in
bachelors can pull that off.
Exactly. Oh yeah. We have videos where if we go to the bars, we come back, I'm like eating food through like the microwave in my room with like a wooden spoon. It was awesome. It was the bachelor lifestyle. We ran it for a solid like 8 months before the house was like nice to have people over, and slowly like improving it since.
Do you still live with your brother?
Yep. Yeah. So we're actually
in real estate with you?
He's been in some different real estate ventures. He did some traveling real estate through, it's called concierge auctions.
Okay.
And that wasn't really a great fit for him. And now he's in the investment real estate side of things. So he does wholesale real estate. So kind of a different
That's actually
route
my
for
background
him.
a little bit. I did some of that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, when I left Cutco, I came to Florida because I went to school here, so I knew I wanted to come back. But I first started doing some wholesaling. Down here, and so I still have a network through that, and that was one of the things I got interested in the real estate world. Did a couple fix and flips as well through those wholesaling networks, but now I'm more focused on wanting to build up the commercial portfolio. And go down that space, make it more. Wholesaling is not passive, right? Like that's as active as you can get. It could be very explosive and very profitable, but it takes work.
It's crazy how many outlets of real estate there is.
Totally.
If you don't have interest in the general residential, you go wholesale, commercial. I mean, it's really never ending.
Yeah, you can do it all, no doubt. So do you guys work it all together does his focus and your focus complement each other in any way?
They can kind of go hand in hand. Before he got into the company that he was at, I do a lot of my off-market deals with a couple of agents at the office prior to him. So we kind of have some run-ins where we work together. But I work with some different agents prior to him that I have the relationship with. Shout out Riley Sheehan, Jack Hughes. They're my guys.
And Riley Sheehan.
Yeah, they're my guys. Super awesome people and really smart people in the wholesale investment space.
Yeah.
And even though I did my first renovation, I mean, that is just such a different beast and being so much more investor focused.
Yeah.
And I've thought about starting to get into the investment real estate side of things, but I think I decided actually over the past couple months, I just want to double down on real estate and what I'm good at and invest my money in those outlets because I could probably do better there than I would starting in investment real estate.
The return there makes more sense as you scale it out. And eventually, like you said, just like you're hiring somebody to take over some of the cold calling aspects of your business and see if that could be fruitful, as you build up a bigger and bigger nest egg to reinvest, that could be a strategy that you bring as part of your team.
Definitely. Is
like an investment department. And a couple other people that we've interviewed on this show have done that. I think of Andrew Duncan, for example, who just was talking to our Elite Mastermind last month about how he does that with his brand. And he has a whole investment side that has been very successful for him through he did a little bit of that before his retail business, but now he still supplements both, and they both have been very profitable. And so there's a whole opportunity there, I think.
I might need to sit in on some more of these podcasts, just be
man.
on the sidelines, because I feel like you got all the tips and tricks.
We do what we can, dude. You should be subscribing to us if you haven't already. I tell you, there's a lot of knowledge up in here.
There's a plug right there, yeah.
But we're gonna put a bow on the episode. We're out of time, unfortunately, but I feel like we can definitely have you back to dive in and see your journey over the next months and years to come, Holton.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So let's put a bow with this question, right? This is a cool question for you, being that you're 26, you're young, you got the world by the whats, and so the question is, when that time does come, and you think about looking back on what you'd want your legacy to be, and what you'd want to be most remembered for, what do you think would matter most to you at that point?
I think just really from a real estate perspective, or just in general,
anything,
or
personal or professional.
I mean, I really want to be the best, and I think that I'm going to really succeed and crush it in this area, and I'm not going anywhere, and I want to be well known and well known for my success here in the area, and the legacy I want to build is for being the best real estate agent in Tampa. That's my goal, and that's what I want to do, and that's where I see my vision here. So I would say that would be my legacy.
There are some great people in Tampa. That's a big vision, man.
That's and that's what I believe, and that's what I'm going to try to strive to achieve. And I really have a vision for Irwin Collective and where I think the brand will just go in the next 5, 10, 15 years. So that's the legacy I want to build. And from a personal perspective, I want to continue to better myself with health, with family, with religion, and really just be the best person I can be.
That's cool. There's you've probably seen the movie Miracle, right? About the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team.
I haven't seen it. Should that be a movie I add to
you
the
gotta
list?
watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a Disney movie, so it's kind of but it's been around for a while now, and it's an inspirational movie. I still get inspired by it.
Okay.
And Herb Brooks, who was the coach of the U.S., the story though, right? The Olympic team, 1980, they ended up beating the Russians, who didn't lose a hockey game for like almost 20-something years.
Wow. Yeah.
And they were undefeated in 4 or 5 straight Olympics, right? And they were supposed to be the dominant brand. This was also during the heat of the Cold War, right? Russian, America, all that stuff. And so 1980, Lake Placid up in New York, they made Herb Brooks became the coach of this hockey team, and the Russians had just defeated the NHL teams. They were coming, the Russian national team was beating the professional hockey teams in the US.
Yeah.
And so they were obviously the favorite by far to win the Olympics. Herb Brooks was the coach assigned, and his team was all college kids. So he brought a bunch of amateurs together, and he created a system that allowed them to specifically go after and beat the Russians the way that they played, which was all about stamina and speed and working together as a team rather than individual star play, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because he was interviewed about during this, before the Olympics started, they asked him what his goals were. And he goes, well, our goal is to win the Olympics. We're going to beat the Russians. And they're like, dude, this is the team that won 68, 72, 76. You're going to beat them. And he's like, he goes, someone said to him, that's a pretty lofty goal, right, Herb? And he goes, yeah, well, that's why we want to pursue it, right? So I think about that's the mission, right? To be the number one team, number one brand in Tampa is a pretty lofty goal, but that's why it's worthy of pursuing.
100%,
And so you have a lot of, challenges I'm sure you're going to face along the way as you try to grow that brand. But
ready for it.
I'm a fan of yours, Holton. So if there's anything we can ever do to help you in your journey, we'll definitely do that. And there's a lot of things that we try to do to add some value, and hopefully we can see you succeed from a distance. We'll be rooting you on.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oops. So let's end with our challenge, and we do this on every episode as an opportunity to end with an action step. And if you're watching live. Oh, yeah, sorry. Holton, if you want to share your contact information on for anyone who wants to pick your brain, what would that be? You can speak in that camera right there.
All right, so you can call or text me at 941-504-9519, or you can shoot me a DM at Holton_Irwin on Instagram.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll put that up on our description too when we have it on the YouTube channel and on all of our different social media platforms. If you're watching us live or you're listening in on any of the different podcast platforms and you don't yet subscribe to our podcast, which again is just Tampa Bay Real Producers, just go there, click subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time a new episode drops. These episodes do drop every Friday with another top producing interview. And today's interview with Holton, there was a lot of different things that we dove into. Maybe you're somebody who also has some big goals, big aspirations of wanting to build a big brand. And Holton might be a great person to talk to as he's in the earlier phases of establishing that, right? And building that name. His volume has spoken for itself. He's gotten off to a very fast start in the game. And so maybe you're someone who also is new and you might want to just pick his brain on exactly some of these mechanics that he used, his strategies with, open houses, the social media platforms he talked about. I loved what he elaborated on, the farmers market programs and some of the stuff that he's doing there. And so that's why we try to interview these top producers, is to be able to learn, the mechanics of how they'll be able to run their business. And if you follow us for a while, you've seen that there's all kinds of different ways that people get there. So what's one thing you can do? Maybe it's one of the books that Holton mentioned that you have to pick up, that you have to read just to get things rolling, but take an action step today to move forward. And if you do that, then I guarantee it'll be worth the time that you invested in watching this podcast. We, of course, will see you on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast, and we'll see you there. Stay classy. Later.